Of course not, Jesse.
Well, I'm not a game talker, but and I don't want to just fucking come into combos.
Of course.
I talked to V and Paris earlier today, and Paris can't talk anyways.
No.
So it's gonna be kind of the same kind of talk, which I think is totally fair.
Yeah.
But let me know. I just want to like check in because like I don't talk game with like Maddy and Will like yourselves too often. Just because...
And I'm same as yourself, I'm not a game talker. Anymore.
Right, I'm not, so I really even hate talking about game.
I usually just wait for people to bring it up. Like,
yeah,
I'm down for it.
Right, it has
I'm
to
down
be
for it, but, like,
has to be talked about in some regards, obviously for myself.
Yeah.
And you gotta talk about it.
I have to fucking do this.
Especially because I know you're stressed out. I'm not gonna, like, jump on you.
Right, I know, it's fine, like, it's all good.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just lay out my little pitch.
Okay.
And we'll take it from there. So... Just backing up to how we got in this position.
Yeah.
Like, all of us were in the white room. We kind of had a little plan moving forward. Obviously, one of us didn't win the HOH, so that's fine. Hamzy won. How I landed on the block, I'm not too sure. Initially, so me, Hamzy, Derek, Erica were have-nots for the week in Cata.
Yeah.
And, like, during that time, I really felt like me and Hamzy built like a friendship, like really connected. Like, it's the first time like he was really coming out of his shell. I thought we were really connecting on a lot of things.
For a long time it was just shout out from him. It's hard to like know him. So you felt like
for sure. Like we could actually have some life talks and stuff, right? So I thought we had a good thing going. Like he brought up a thing about maybe me, him, Derek, just because we're down there, being like, you know, could be like competitive guys.
Yeah. Maybe
us bring in Will, have a fourth thing, whatever, strong guys, because he's all about the competition, right?
Yeah.
Having strong people on the team. And like, I'm talking just openly about this because it just doesn't matter anymore because of the situation, right? So this was pre-HOH comp. So when V and Hamzy won the HOH, I was pumped.
Yeah.
And I was like awesome, man. Like, great. This is awesome. Like, fucking, it couldn't work out better for a little squad that we had in the white room there, right? Like, I mean, so he's told me, like, right after the comp, like, hey, you're not a target, nothing to worry about. Like, you won't be on the block.
Yeah.
And then he nominated me, which is whatever, because he wanted to stack the veto or there's a bigger plan, whatever. So, okay, I wasn't freaking out or anything. But then, obviously, having not used the veto, you know, it's kind of a shitty spot, right? Like, it obviously looks like I'm the target now, right? So, knowing that I'm the target, I just need to make sure that our team is all set. And I know over the past couple days, I haven't really been campaigning, but there's been some pitches to you guys from the other side of the house, and you have to hear out that side of things, right?
You gotta hear both sides.
Right. So now, for my part of the story, is like I like Hamzy as a guy, but like no lie, when I said in the speech there about like swearing on some personal things, like he did that, right? It's like whether it be right or wrong.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Did you ask him to swear, or did he volunteer to swear?
So I didn't.
It doesn't make a huge difference. I'm just curious because I've heard both of those versions now.
Yeah. So I didn't ask him. Someone else right beside me did.
I understand.
So he answered anyways.
Okay.
But so yeah, I guess we obviously have heard that. Like he swore on like Carolyn's life or whatever
So
that he would
Derek the guy
use the
swear
veto.
over
Well, that's what
his fiance's life.
That's what I was
that's
told.
tough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
And
if someone came up to me and said, "Will swear over Parker's life," I wouldn't like that myself.
Yeah.
Right. Same. I wouldn't like that, nor would I probably answer. I'd be like, that's a little.
That it wasn't actually you who said that, but
Right.
then later on I heard that you had. So I just wanted to hear from you.
No, that's fair.
Answer.
It wasn't me, and I'm not here to throw anyone else under the bus.
That's not what
But
I'm
you
asking.
asked the question, so I have to answer.
I was just curious.
But you know, so yeah, I understand it's a tough spot, but like I'm going back to a couple days prior. We're in the kitchen, and someone said like the have-nots hid the peanut butter or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, do you know where the peanut butter is, Hamzy? Someone asked, or do you, like, someone asked, do you swear on Carolyn's life, like as a joke, like funny,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he just wouldn't answer. So,
Okay.
right? I was like, oh, so, okay, obviously Hamzy means what he says here, that he's going to use the veto on me regardless, right?
Yeah.
So, like, as, like, a person who's, like, pretty open with his feelings, I think, like, if I like you, like, you know I like you, and, you know, I wouldn't, like, fuck you over, right? So, coming from that kind of outlook on life and then having it happen opposite to you was, like, super tough for me. And it could be game or whatever, and that's fine. But, you know, if there was any reason for him not to use the veto, like...
Literally said trust the process.
And he said trust the process, so I trust the process because I'm a trusting guy. So, how we move into how it implicates you guys.
Yeah.
So, me or Liv needs...
Oh my god, that's awesome! Stoked.
Wow.
We can see the moon.
Where?
Right there.
What?
Moon.
I don't see it.
Guys, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but think we could have just 2 more minutes?
Yeah. Oh, no, of course you can.
Oh, sorry.
Or we can pick it up somewhere else.
No, that's okay. I was just excited about the moon. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay.
Just one of them things that gotta, you know.
Yeah, I was just getting on a flow here.
Yeah.
But I want to lay it out once and then take a sleep on it. We can
And that's
talk
what
about it briefly
They're
tomorrow.
understandable. They know.
Oh, they know.
And Olivia is going to do the same. Like, it's normal. Just make sure there's no ears at the door.
I really have to make sure we're clear.
I know.
You do it.
Okay, we're good. So how this implicates you guys? So me or Liv need six votes to stay, right?
Yeah.
And like I was telling V before, like I can't think of a single pitch that they could make you guys that it would make sense to vote me out. So like I understand a couple of the reasons is I could be like I'm the more physical threat out of me to Liv. And I've heard that me, Derek, Kayla are like a trio, right?
Okay.
So those are kind of the 2 reasons that I understand have been brought up to you guys or various people, right?
Yeah.
So going through those, what matters now in this game is numbers and people that you trust. So if I'm in your shoes and I'm looking at voting someone out, if I vote to keep Liv in, is Liv ever going to be a vote for me? Do I trust the people that she's working with? Right? Allie, Ryan, Hamsies? Now that I know some of this info, if I switch sides, right? There's some people that want me to stay, there's some that don't. If I move to that side, where do I fit in with that group of people? Right? If I vote Jesse out, okay, good game move. But now I'm below Allie, Liv, Ryan, Hamsies, you know, Marin. Like, where do I fall in that, right?
Yeah.
We had a thing where if we just stay on track, we could keep me in this week and vote out Liv, who's never, ever going to be a benefit to you guys. Like, how I was telling this to V was like, it's now opened my eyes how easy it is to get nominated, right?
Yeah. No, I'm
like,
looking
literally,
at that.
boom, you're up on the block. So if any of us were switched positions, like, Will, if you were on the block, right? Quickly, couldn't have the veto or whatever. Or next week, maybe you get backdoored, like put on the block after the veto's used. You have even less control over the matter, right?
Yeah.
Because all you have at that
Especially
moment...
depending on who you're against.
Right, so all you have in that moment in time is a group of people that can vote to save you, right? So that's why strong numbers are so important, right? So it's a really, I think, a short-term minded way to think about getting out a big threat because it's so easy to go on the block that all we have is our tight group.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I was HOH, I would never put any of you guys up ever, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I'm not mad that you're open to thoughts, whatever. Like, I'm totally cool with that. I would do the same thing. But I would never, ever put you guys up. And if I won the veto, for sure I'd put you, take you down, right?
Yeah.
Hands down.
Keeps the number, I understand.
And like, I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable about Liv doing the same thing or other people like on the team, right? So, like, let's just think of a situation. So Allie wins veto next week. Okay, say Jesse gets booted this week. Allie wins veto, right? She puts Kayla and V on the block.
Wins HOH, you mean?
Or wins HOH.
Okay.
Kayla and V on the block. Fucking one of them win veto. They're comp beasts.
Yeah.
And Will goes up. So now you're sitting against Kayla or whatever, right? And you go home. And that's just how it is, right? I guess that's not a good... That's the same side of the house I'm talking about, but...
You're saying that
It
maybe,
would be
let's
opposite
say Allie
sides.
wins and puts up, like, Marin and Will.
Marin and Will.
And they stay on the block.
And they
Like,
stay
I
on
see
the
the
block. Like,
scenario
Will
you're
goes
trying to
home,
build.
right? In that case.
Yeah.
That's just so easy. So what I'm saying is, being that it's week 3, I understand it looks like an opportunity, but in 2 or 3 weeks, that's going to come back and bite the group. Like, there's not, being a strong competitor, whether it looks like a weakness, like an opportunity to get me out, only benefits our team. Like, I'm playing for us, right? I would never turn my back on this group. So it's only a benefit that I'm in the game, right?
Yeah.
And like, Will, I know for yourself, like, I think you and Hamzy are buddies, right?
Yeah, me and Hams is like you and Derek say, you know what I mean?
Right. So I don't want to, you know, and that's the other thing too. Like, Derek has Kayla, you have V or Hams or whoever, and I don't have like a number 2, right? So I'm not in
but you
any
and
part
Erica
of
are
this.
pretty close to it. Like, who do you think Erica would vote for, you or Liv?
She would vote to get me out for sure.
think?
Yeah, she likes Liv.
That's a tough one.
Which
eh?
sucks, right? But
Have you and Erica had that conversation?
no, I wanted to hit our group first because, you know, if I was really solid with this group, we have 6, right? We have
Yeah,
Derek,
yeah,
Caleb,
yeah.
Paris, you, Will, V. That's 6 right there. That's it. That's all we need. And that's what we talked about pre-HOH,
Yeah.
right? The only problem with getting me out is they have way more numbers now, and they're way sketchier than us,
Yeah.
right? If I had to choose people I wanted to align with, and I already have, it's
Yeah.
you guys, because I can trust you.
Yeah.
Right? If I was trying to break off and do my own thing, and I picked a Allie, Marin, Ryan,
Yeah.
well, I could get screwed at any moment. And I already kind of have because I put that trust in Hamzy.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, I understand your buddies, but I
Yeah.
thought we were too. And he saw me as a threat, so he took me out.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm Hamzy, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get out a big threat this week who might be a physical threat down the road.
Yeah.
That's me. And then who does Hamzy have? He has the numbers and a big threat out. It's so easy, Will, for him to put you out of the game. I don't know, like, that might not be his plan. That might not be even close. But if he did that, I could win every comp from here to the end because I still have my numbers.
Yeah.
Right? So it's so early in the game. If you guys were in my spot,
Yeah.
Maddy's on the block now against Liv.
We all know.
Right?
Yeah.
But are we even going to make it down the road?
That
If they
is-
eliminate
yeah.
me, that sets a precedent for how this season's going to go. That's saying it's okay to lie, cheat, and backstab. And there's going to be a group of people that can pick you off, whether you're on the right or wrong side of the vote this time, right?
Yeah.
It's essential that we're playing for the team right now.
Until later on. I think that, like, I'm not going to speak on behalf of you guys because I know that it's easy to kind of group people in groups, and as you're saying, you feel like there isn't a number 1 or number 2. And I know that I consider my vote independent of even you guys, who we all, you know, we get along, we've slept in the same room, Paris and I, like, and as much as I respect your decisions and would love to hear your opinions, I do consider my vote my own vote. Whereas there are other groups like that I like get along with and could consider trusting and all these things, but I do feel like there are blocks of votes starting to form.
I do.
And as a
think that
person
way.
who's thinking of my own personal long-term game as a more independent player, I would just be weighing whichever option felt best for my long-term game.
Right.
If Liv was standing right here, I would say it too. I clearly prefer you in the house as a person. She and I have made some great steps to getting along / understanding each other's gameplay and all that stuff. But you are right, it's week 3. It's hard to tell with some people where they're gonna stand competition-wise and
Right.
trustworthy-wise. So as a relatively overall neutral person, my personal preference is clear.
Right.
Long-term
what's better for your
game-wise,
game.
I just will need to take the next day of events to fully get my head around.
For
but
sure.
sitting right here and having you make this game talk pitch is like a super respectable way to go about it.
Thanks.
I like to know, like, and I like to, I mean, you can, unless you're in the room, you don't know 100% what was said ever, and I can tell you whatever I want about my room talks or whatever. But the fact that you, like, are saying for sure that you didn't personally ask Hams himself to swear on Carolyn.
Oh, no,
is
that's
nice
a setup.
To know, is nice to know. So I appreciate you coming in and giving, like, that side is a completely reasonable, like, argument, I guess, to keep yourself. But
I mean, I have to just put it out there if it
Of
was
course.
said, whether, you know.
Yeah,
just
and I think initially, I don't know Ham's, like, I didn't talk to him, and he just basically told me trust the process, and unfortunately in this situation I did, and it worked out okay for me personally.
Right.
But I didn't have
you
a lot
told
of,
everyone to trust the process, though.
I didn't have a exactly, but I just didn't have a lot of background information to what was going on.
Right.
So you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I can't really place a lot of my own opinions in the back talk because I wasn't involved in a lot of it.
Right.
But, like, the fact that, like, I don't know if I would have expected you to come up with such, like, not that I'm trying not to sound like I'm thinking you're stupid, because I do not think you're stupid. Just it's really respectable for this game talk and you sitting down and sitting us down and approaching us. As a player, I think it says more than just, like, he's probably good at throwing stuff really hard. Like,
Yeah.
so comp piece wise.
No, I appreciate that. Like, if I'm in your shoes, and you are an independent vote, and I see, like, there's a couple other people in the house that I would call
It's too early.
independent people, too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, the Erica, Johnny, you
Of
know, the
course.
people.
Yeah,
I'm not saying, whoa, we have 6 or 7 people here, and let's stick to each other to the end.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just trying to say, hey, right now, since we talked about this and have been in one room,
Yeah.
let's at least look out for each other until we get to a place
Yeah.
where we don't have, like, where we can't anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So being independent is all and well, but
No, I agree.
I
Independence
just
doesn't
wouldn't
get
want.
you as far.
Well, and the problem is too, right? Say someone from right now the other side wins, right? So say an Allie wins or whatever, and she doesn't want to take a shot at a Will and V or like
Yeah.
a Derek and Kayla.
Yeah, yeah.
Who else is there to pick for, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you might be implicated in that somehow. You and Eric, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
the problem is, even like alliance or not, people can be implicated depending on who wins and what their goal is, right? Because
Yeah.
not everybody wants to get out big, massive threats. Hamzy does.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we can't be targets. And just being it's so easy to go on the block.
Yeah.
And I understand that you and Liv have made some strides, and that's great.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
Necessary is
that
what
was
it is.
pre or post nom or whatever, what have you.
It was, yeah.
But like I've never once like talked bad about any of you guys. Like I think you're great people, and I legitimately. What was I talking about? So we're talking about the groups, and I told V in Paris before, like, people think that me, Derek, Kayla are a trio. Well, then there's the Ryan, Hamzy, Marin.
Yeah.
You know, there's the Allie, Liv, whoever.
Yeah.
There can be groups made out of anything, right?
You're right.
Yeah, people
And just
assume
because
that.
I'm more public about my feelings towards people,
Yeah.
like if I like you, I like you, like I was saying before,
Yeah.
doesn't mean there aren't other groups in the house. They're just more undercover.
Yeah.
And the more undercover it is, the more
Sketchier.
sketchy it is,
You're
right?
right.
So it's tough to even put that into play right now, I think, right?
Yeah, because my point, like, the house is just so flippy floppy now with you and Liv, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And like, there's so many pros and cons of keeping you or sending you home, or keeping Liv or sending her home.
Right.
And like, something I look at, like, if we send Liv home, and fucking you stay, and fucking Ali wins HOH next week, because it's probably going to be questions or whatever. Ali's
Yeah.
fucking cracking down.
Yeah, no, for
She puts Derek and Kayla up because they're after each other, kind of thing like that. She puts Derek and Kayla up. Kayla wins HOH. Me and Derek are standing up on the block. You in the power of veto. Who would you take down, me or the D?
It's a great question.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at all the scenarios, kind of thing. And you'd obviously,
Right.
I know you'd take Derek down over me.
I
right?
mean, that's such a hypothetical
Yeah.
thing.
But like, the reality of it is, it's possible. You know what I mean?
But you could say that with any situation.
Yeah.
Like if I go home this week, that's great. Someone
And-
wins, they put you and V up, and
Exactly,
and V comes
right?
down, someone else. Like we could do that
Yeah.
all day.
but at the end of the day, like, it's possible, and you're like, fuck, well, what if it's just, and I don't have my mind made up one bit yet,
Right.
because we've been talking and we're like, because it's so flippy floppy, like we said, like that, and then Liv is coming with good points or whatever, like, well,
what are some of the best points?
like, just like, well, if we have another $5,000 POV competition, who would you rather go up against, me or Jesse, kind of thing?
Right.
Or if you're getting a bigger thread out, we're on just a floater kind of thing, and where people think, like, the trio or whatever like that.
Like, I'm not, like, you don't have to be enemies with Hams if I stay. Like, you can play that
Yeah,
up
I
as
know,
well.
yeah.
You know, that's an option.
And I
think
told
something
Tams,
like
I don't
the-
have my mind made up yet, and the same as I told the
No,
girls.
we're at,
No, that's,
like,
I totally understand. And in my head, okay, so Liv's saying, you know, who would you rather go up
Because
against
I don't want to
in the
go
veto?
say, all right, Jesse, we're keeping you, because that'd be shitty, and then, you know what I mean?
Oh, no, and I appreciate that. I wouldn't want
Right?
that either.
and then have the
Like,
majority
people,
vote
you were told
approach.
you weren't going on the block, and how shitty is it that you got put on the
Yeah.
block,
Right.
right?
Right, yeah, it's tough.
Just the shade of it kind of thing.
So going back to, say, who would you rather go up against in the veto? You like me or her? It doesn't come down to the physical competitiveness of the
No,
person.
no.
It comes down to whose side is that person on. So I don't care if I'm going up against, if it's you or Liv, I don't rather go up against Liv.
Yeah.
I'd rather go up against you because I'm not against you. I'm with you. I'm fighting for the team.
Yeah.
Right? Liv might be easier to beat, but maybe I don't care. Right? It's
Yeah.
about
And then-
having the numbers. It's about the numbers over the physical attributes. And, you know, also you guys know I have the worst comp record here.
Statistically, you actually are the
Statistically,
shittiest.
I've played the most comps and
math-wise.
I've won 0.
Yeah.
And good or bad or whatever, there might be a comp that comes my way, but then I'm with you guys. Like, we don't have to make a name and make an alliance. We can just look out for each other for now, right? So I guess, you know, Liv saying there's a strong trio and all of that. Okay, sure. I make it obvious, like I said, who I like and this and that. Like, I'm not talking like this with everyone in the house.
No.
I trust you guys, and I'm open and I'm blunt because we've talked before, and I feel good that you guys keep this to yourselves or
Yeah,
whoever.
No, that is one
And
thing you
we're
can
good,
guarantee.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sneaking around and whispering this and that and wanting to talk game all the time, but, you know, Liv's a lot quieter in how she operates, and it shouldn't be a detriment if I'm louder about it, you know?
Yeah.
She has alliances too.
Yeah.
And she's in at least a duo, trio, or a quad, something in there.
And I like how you actually came and approached us where she just kind of said her 2 cents that one time, really, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Like, I hate to be like, you might not like what I'm gonna say, but like, I think if there wasn't 2 competitions that had $5,000 on the line, I would think that you're just throwing it to not look like a threat. But the fact that there was 2 competitions where there was $5,000, I know that like you gave it your best shot, and the fact that like you are 0 for 5, like, I do think that's something to consider, because like I think everyone thinks like Liv is like a lot easier to beat, but I do know that she's also thrown comps before.
Yeah, I can guarantee
Like,
that.
I've legitimately tried in every
Yes.
comp.
Well,
legitimately.
Who wasn't watching
It
us?
could be
for
$10,000
today?
It's
Right.
unfortunate. I have to fucking
I know.
back up my own shittiness
Yeah.
with truth. It's sad.
Yeah.
But like I've been
Yeah, 'cause
fucking
if you were on the block
dummied
now-
by these comps.
And you were $10,000 richer, you wouldn't really care about
Fair
going
I'm
enough,
dying because I
right?
do in the coffee. You're getting so pissed with the target. You're like, "Rah!" every time. I was like, it's
Like
cool.
especially especially if there's money on the line. That's a
Yeah.
good point. Like
What was V's? What did V like? Did she like? What was her?
V was basically like, also again, like, thanks for coming to talk to me. Like, I have it. Like, I didn't think about some of those things, or they're good.
Yeah.
I hear you, man.
It's tough. I had to just tell the house that, right?
Yeah.
Because for me, like, being honest is
You did
the
it
number one thing.
Even though it was a little bit more like conflict oriented in reception, it was at least like you're saying that you're blunt, honest in this, and you're showing that you're blunt, honest in this.
Absolutely.
By doing it in that way, not going in individual groups and saying blah blah blah. He said this and then did it. Blah blah blah. He said like
Like, I would
your
mu-
approach
Because-
is a lot more. Like, I want to say predictable, but that sounds more negative than I mean it. Like you're
that's
reinforcing
totally
a lot
fair.
of your behaviors
I mean-
through actions.
Yeah,
If I
now
say-
I'm sketched out because I don't know, like, do Ali and Liv, do they have something on the go? Like, You know what I mean?
I think
No
that
one knows.
part of, and this is something I'll
But
say
yeah.
to the room.
Yes, they do.
Right?
This is something
Yeah.
I'll say to the room. Like, often the argument, you know, or at least in my own personal, because as I'm saying, I'm a sole vote at this point. In my own personal conversations with Liv, without getting into it, because I do respect our game talk between the two
Sure,
of us. A lot of the argument has to do with let me prove via action my, you know,
Yeah.
my stance, I guess. So it's interesting that that's a let me prove once you've already proven.
And yeah, Liv pissed me off last night big time when she threw a drink at her.
Yeah.
Which-
That's an action. All of these
Yeah.
are actions, whether or not
No,
it's game
actually,
related,
though.
whether or not it's a game move, like, or a game
Shady, right?
conversation, or a
For me-
social conversation. It's an
She threw it
action
at me,
speaks
too.
an action.
For me, like, my only concern is, like, and no offense, like, to you again, like, I'm kind of ripping on you a little bit, but, like,
No, I wanna hear
anybody
it.
else, like, next to her, that's not a number. Like, for me, it's just about numbers. It's like, yeah, we're friends and, like, we get along, but, like, it's not, like, you as a person. To me, I'm looking at you as a number right now.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
I do think that in this house, like, all you have is numbers. So, is Liv a number for us? No. Is Jessie? Probably. I can't say 100% because I don't know that yet.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I just know that 100% Liv is a number for us.
I vote Erica out.
Yeah.
I like her. Say I'm.
You're
I'm,
closer with her. That's
say,
fine to
I'm,
say.
I'm not
You don't
saying
have
I
to say
like
who you
her
better.
more.
No,
I'm
no,
trying
but
to think of an
you're
example.
closer to
Yeah,
her.
I get what
Say-
you're saying.
Me and X are the best buddies in the game. I don't know where they stand game wise.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm voting to keep the person I
you
like, and I'm not
that you
saying you guys
understand.
like Liv more. It's that's
No.
how much emphasis I'm thinking about the numbers right now.
Yeah.
Just gotta check this.
Go look in the bathroom. Someone was looking in the bathroom.
No, you definitely can't hear it from the bathroom.
Yeah?
No, you can't. We tested it.
It's been tested.
It's been tested.
So I mean, that's essentially what I have,
Well,
and it's
thanks for
just
saying that, by the way. That, like, you give a shit that she did that.
Oh yeah, like it's just like certain things like that. And I'm gonna go, and I was talking to him tonight because like fucking to get their side too. But I'm so glad you came to us
Same.
because it makes your perspective on
Yeah.
everything so much more.
Big time.
And I 100% fucking don't take my mind up. The only thing that's kind of like staggering me, flip floppy if you want to say, is like where me and Hams are close kind
Yeah.
of thing.
right. Like that's an added
And where
element.
he's a camp beast, if I go against him, I don't know, have you tried talking to Hams like since, or
See, I haven't talked to Hamzy since, but
like maybe
I mean,
it
you
could help?
understand my position.
Yeah, but maybe like if you were to go up, I don't know, maybe it
Wouldn't
could.
hurt you.
Wouldn't hurt
Sure.
at this point in the game.
That was a super compelling argument you just gave just now.
No, like it wouldn't hurt, and that's the thing. I didn't mind Hamzy as a guy, and I really thought we had a friendship.
Yeah.
It's tough for me.
But in
Now-
your shoes now, as much as it sucks because you never used a veto or nothing, and you're probably the last person you want to talk game to kind of thing.
Right.
But I think you should, if you could go talk to him
I
and
agree.
give him exactly what you just gave us.
I agree.
And tell him, like, if you keep me kind of thing, you're not going to be a target. You know what I mean? I'm not going to
Like
come after
I'm open to whatever. I'm not sure how receptive he's gonna be after that talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
But it's worth a
Don't
shot,
slam the door
man.
off the hint. I'm just.
But like, okay, so Will, like, if you were in my spot,
If I was in your spot,
you
man,
know, you thought you were buddies with Hamzy, you're nominated. I'm really good buddies with Hamzy now, so I'm afraid you might go after him because, and I'm deciding whether to vote you out. What would you tell me if you were on the block? If we completely switched roles,
so
what
if I
would
was
you tell me?
in whose shoes?
If
You're
just
me
switch
on the block,
positions-
Oh.
and I'm really good buddies with Hamzy. I'm deciding whether to vote you in or out of the game.
That's what he's doing right now to you. Like let's pretend that, like, you and Hamzy's relationship, keep it the same,
Yeah.
but you're Jesse's position.
But now you're on the block.
You're on the block in Jesse's position, and Jesse and Hams are besties. What would you say to Jesse to compel him not to evict you?
I'd just go up, man, and give the exact same thing you just
I
gave
think I
us, the
agree.
pros and cons, the numbers, and you gotta like give him the trust kind of thing. Like if you keep me kind of thing, I'm not gonna gun for you. Like
That's totally what I think
I know.
is best. My one thing for you in specific is I know we have a mutual dislike for Ryan, and I don't know if that's changed or not. But
he's just, and he's gonna be one of the players who's gonna probably get to the very end of the game because everyone's
Right.
probably gonna be like, "We'll worry about him next week. We'll worry about him next week."
Right.
but he just says so much
You
stupid
good?
shit a lot of the time.
Are you sure?
You know what I mean?
So I got
Thanks,
like,
Maddy.
if you don't mind me asking, like, Will, who are some of your threats to you in the game?
I honestly don't feel like I have any big threats in the game because me, you, Derek, and Kayla, like, people thinks that Derek and Kayla are a big threat, but I feel really close with them, right? I'll just say to people who's not on the block.
Right.
Liv and Ali, I'll say Liv because two of them together, they kind of sketch me out.
Yeah.
Like Erica and Johnny are independent and Maddy kind of thing. They're just doing their own thing, if you want to say it like that. Like, I don't be threatened by anyone in the six kind of thing, say. No one really, because... But you never feel threatened either, is the thing.
Yeah,
So
that's exactly
it's a
the
game
point.
changer, if it makes sense. Like, you don't know who you can and can't trust.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly it.
And you're the
So
example
I
of it.
feels like you felt before you got on the block, but who's saying that people's not getting ready to plot to fucking put me up, right?
Yeah.
But
But I think
I'm
the
not. I'm
difference
not
is
though. Like I would
he's
like.
not going to
it's
compromise Liv. What?
say someone independent of the duos wins the HOH, and they're too scared to take a shot at say Derek and Kayla, so they put you and V up.
To be honest, I would be too scared to take a shot at a duo target right now as an independent player.
Or like you and V could be put up. Like it's so.
Yeah, I
the
know.
numbers are so important. And-
Independence is an advantage for longevity safety wise, but independence is a disadvantage for having enough of an influence to take
And I
out a
kind of
larger
see myself
target.
as kind of an independent player too, because like I don't know. Anyway, like between four of us, like in our room last night when we were going to sleep, me and V had a few words before we went to bed.
Oh, okay.
Because fucking all the stuff, Will and V kind of thing, being really good buddies. And everyone's always saying, like, the girls will say, Will, where'd you go to? Like, where'd you go into your portal today?
Yeah.
And I just bobs around talking to everyone kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be seen as a two kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I didn't get mad, but I kind of did last night.
Yeah.
Right. So you understand that it's like annoying, right? You
It
don't
is
want to
annoying.
see that. So how I'm linked in with Derek and Kayla is the same thing.
Exactly.
So
It's 'cause of
that
your-
shouldn't be a detriment to me.
And I don't see either one of the three of you to a threat to my game one bit.
Me neither.
Right.
the
Exactly.
thing.
So
That's the thing.
the points that you know
I
live.
know that's the point, but I'm just saying.
She's trying to
a
make.
couple points I made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Hams is up to HOH.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then Liv, like, I honestly must have another talk with Liv and see where her head is, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Like I'm
because
just
I don't like the fact that she's not trying to like approach anyone, and you know what I mean?
like my biggest thing is. There would be nothing if one of you were on the block to convince me otherwise. Like I'm obviously a little biased in my position, but
Yeah.
I honestly could not think of an argument to get rid of one of you guys because
Yeah.
I'm way more comfortable with you guys.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not looking at like,
put in
oh,
this
it's a big.
perspective, you
like,
can definitely have a clearer
can't.
side of it for sure.
Like if I'm Maddy,
Yeah.
I feel way more comfortable with you than Liv. Like it's a
Yeah.
no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I agree with
And
you.
if there is any really good points, like I do want to hear them because I might have a different take on
yeah,
things, right?
no, I think that the more like sketchiness factor was to me the best point that you've made. Like it's true. Transparency and then having promises of, well, the actions will show, and you've already shown with action.
Sick joke.
Yeah.
Because like I felt like I've done nothing wrong. I haven't shit talked. I feel close with you guys,
Yeah.
and now I'm hearing some wavering, and
Yeah.
it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You know, because I really think I could be valuable, and I don't want to sit here and beg, but it
I
would just be
understand.
like downright disgusting,
Yeah,
right?
I
Like
hear
it's
you,
something
man.
I could never get over.
I think I definitely need distance from either game talk conversation. Not that I don't appreciate it, because I already said that I
Yeah,
have.
exactly.
Oh yeah, and this is my one thing, and I'm done, and,
And
we'll
then
check
that's
base
perfect.
tomorrow
and
and
there's a couple
sleep on
days,
it.
like all that
Think
stuff.
about it, right?
I definitely want to think by myself for sure, and just sort of like get around, because you have made some points in this that have been obvious but not spoken about, and it's
Right.
nice to hear them out in the air as we hear other things going around for the contrary. You know. So
No, for sure. Please.
Jesus.
And
But
let
I
me
also
know.
don't want to be out here and like fucking people are probably doing. I don't want to sit down and lie to your face.
of course not.
No, and I
I'd be like,
appreciate that. Like,
you know what I
really,
mean?
that's the last thing I want. Like, I'm
Yeah.
so open about it
Because
that,
you could have came out, we could have been like, Jesse, don't worry, man. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
like, I just
We're
straight
not
up
those
asked
people,
V,
though.
hey, what, like, I asked you guys too, what are some of the pros in getting me out?
Yeah.
You know, and can I, you know, give my take on it to see if they actually are pros or not?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have multiple people, like, campaigning for me, or I
Hamza
haven't
can't
been
play
hard.
HOH next week either.
So, you know, that's totally...
And that's another thing, like, is
thing.
people going to be gunning for Hamza next week?
But if they did gun for Hamza next week and we saved him with Jesse's vote, maybe that repairs a relationship with Hamza that would be damaged by voting to keep Jesse.
And Hamza just really, everyone knows, does his own thing.
He does.
It's like,
that's
you
my
putting up,
only
right?
disclaimer
But
about
should Hamza be in danger, and you might have to swallow your pride a little bit, should Hamza become in danger next week, let's say we get who would win? We get Derek wins HOH, and he's pissed because his bestie
Sure.
dude gets put on the block, and Hamza goes up against Ali or something. And numbers wise, that's a pretty even spread for either person to stay or go.
Yeah.
And let's say veto happens, doesn't get used, we still look at Hamza and Ali on the block. If we, as you're referring to us, I'm using your word, as a team, not alliance, but as a team, would rally to keep Hams, that might repair some kind of damage that
Sure.
we would inflict on him.
Like, and I'm totally open to that.
Okay,
Like,
it's good
our-
to hear that.
Our chat before,
and I'm just theorizing, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, that's totally a valid theory. Like,
Yeah.
our chat before in the white room
Yeah.
with all of us was our next three targets were like an Ali, Liv, Ryan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, that has always been...
Could you imagine?
Like
way you looked,
those
you're
were,
so
like,
faster.
Hamzy wasn't even in the consideration set. It was Ali, Liv, Ryan. Like, that's what we talked.
Yeah.
Hey, let's stick together as a team. We have the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We're here
Then we
almost
can all
another
make it to
month.
jury.
And those are three people that if
Right?
one HOH, I would feel nervous.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like I'm
Yeah, I don't know what
I'm
they
out
would
for
do.
Hamzy's blood.
But we know what Derek
Yeah, I
Kayla, we
know.
know what Derek Kayla or Jesse would do.
I'm so much
should we keep
happier
our
that you
asses off
came
the
out and
block?
actually had this chat with us.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am too. I think it helps clear a lot of stuff up.
Or actually, maybe fucking, even if I goes up and has a chat with Hamza in a bit. And I wants to chat with Liv and Ali too, because obviously
But
everyone
isn't
knows
it
Liv
suck
and
that we
Ali.
have to like go approach the person that's on the block because she thinks she's so comfortable? She's
Bingo.
not even
Yeah.
approaching
She is
us.
so
Bingo.
and it's scary how comfortable she feels.
Parents
Right?
are millionaires too.
It is, and she's been told she's good, but then, you know, who's? I mean, I think there's a bigger thing at play here. You know, there's
Yeah.
a Ryan, Ali, Liv.
Yeah, but earlier,
Marin's in
like,
the mix. Hamza's there. I mean,
you don't, yeah, I know.
I know Ryan, Ali, and Liv are a thing. I know.
absolutely, hands
I know
down.
It doesn't make sense if they weren't.
And I asked Ryan about it last night,
And
and he just flat out denies. Like, it's straight lies.
That. Liv didn't
Look to
deny
the
it, though.
skies.
I just got bit by a fly.
We both some flies.
Fuck, I might cry.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go fucking.
I'd love a drink of rye.
Yeah. Oh me, oh my.
I feel like I'm gonna die. all right.
look at all these eyes.
Great two
Watching the
rhymes.
lies.
You know,
Maybe
but
almost gotta be
actually though
boobs.
is the thing, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming out here.
No,
Justin.
thanks,
That's why I
guys.
was literally
Like-
out here all day. And yesterday, because I just want to avoid not talking to you or anything.
Oh no, yeah,
Just
and I
avoid
do
all
too.
the-
I do the same
Well, 'cause
thing, man.
people are in there like in small groups chatting and shit, and I don't really want to get. I do look at myself as an independent player,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I don't like want. Not that I love Zvi to that and shit.
Yeah,
like
we know,
that,
but it's. I see where you're coming from.
But same thing.
Man, I
people
get
take
it. You get
as
looped
it.
in there.
Yeah.
Like, you hang out with people you
But-
like, and
you're gonna
people
have good, better
immediately say,
relationships with some people than you do with others. and-
right.
Right.
It's the same, like the, and it
That's it.
shouldn't. It's not
like,
your
just because
fault.
Paris and I sleep in the same bed every night, it doesn't mean that we're a duo.
Right.
A duo. Like I
And
get what
it's-
you're saying.
It's not fair for you to have a target because you like
everyone
people.
hated her the first few days she was in the house.
And you didn't.
And she found that I was the only one who was nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That give her the time of day kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And we got shacked up in the same bit because Ryan won HOH the same day.
Yeah, it all
It was
just kind of
just pure
happened.
fluke.
It's just fluke, right?
So many of these things have been fluke, though. Like,
Same
the
thing
three
when
of
we
us
first
wouldn't
moved
have
into the
gotten
house
along.
the first week. Everyone was like, all right, there's white room versus red room.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was going around, right?
Oh yeah.
Heaven versus hell literally happened.
Yeah,
Like that's,
exactly.
but when we wouldn't have been as close if we weren't in that little group, and,
And
then
then we
we
were-
only had the opportunity to get to know you later because our priorities
Right.
were in that little situation.
You know, and it's tough. Like, I'm not in the white room either, and I know there's talk that goes down, so I know I don't get
Well,
the
not
FaceTime
anymore.
in.
because
No,
that's
we
where
don't
Ryan
talk
is.
one
Oh, we
big
don't
game, no.
No, because
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. I just
See,
don't
but
know.
like assumptions,
I
like,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, because we're Ryan's in there, and no one knows where his head is at all. So when he's in there, all it is literally just farting around.
Keep talking.
But
The,
fucking-
yeah. So,
So the only time that we talk, like then, you know, whoever you're close with, because two of you are
Yeah.
fairly close too, right? Is outside.
It's so sketchy.
I
that
know.
whole-
Someone
to
could
look-
easily.
No, to look at like, and speaking of Ryan being sketchy,
Well,
I've
for one
opened that
thing,
door and
Liv
he's
has
been
definitely
behind
gone
the
in
door.
now. Now she's, well, at this point of the game, you're campaigning, which you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
But she's in there now, like Jesse's out there probably saying God knows what.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking bad about
No.
Liv. I'm
You're
just literally explaining the situation, how it could be a benefit to you guys.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I really, truly do honestly feel that way.
Yeah.
And like I've said, like, I'll tell you guys
it's not coming
how
across
I
as
feel.
bullshit, and
You know?
sometimes I wonder when I leave a conversation. An apology, I think you just need a truce in this kind
Sure.
of game.
And I'm fine with, like, here's my only one point about Hamzy is, you guys know just as well as me, he's doing his own thing.
Exactly.
And he's here, he said it from week one, I'm here to play, I'm here to make big moves.
Yeah.
And if 1 week he's feeling like Will, he's feeling Will.
Yeah, because me and Hamzy are good boys, but we're not close. Like you and Derek are kind of thing. Like he's close with.
Right, and I was-
Maren and
I want to
Erica
say
and-
over the
Ryan
past
was
week
close with
before
Ryan,
this,
yeah.
this, like, honestly, really close with Hamzy's.
Yeah.
And he told me, like, if it was a you, me, Derek thing, what was it? Derek was a have-not, some reason for you. You were feeling really sore or something, so he put me up on the block to stack the veto. So, like, that almost sounds like if I was the target the whole time, any three of us could have been the target.
yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe I'm reading into that too much. But
Sweet potato bullshit.
Bumblebees,
sweet potatoes and yam
rainbows,
fries and different
Okay.
veggies.
and spinach.
If you boil down everything here, regardless of teams in quotation marks, of duos, of trios, of blah blah in question marks,
Right.
where did everything start? Where did everything start getting sketchy? Right.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a, I don't know if I feel comfortable with even the people I felt comfortable with before, where does that start? Right.
Yeah.
When it comes to why it's sketchy to go against Hams right now, because Hams has a bodyguard in his HOH all the time, what does that come down to? Ryan, who is clearly aligned with Liv by herself and Allie by herself and together by themselves. Ryan. If we are, and it's not saying that it's off the table at this point, because as we're saying, we will take time to make this decision. If we are quick maths only, numbers shuffling right now, because to be honest, that's what it is. I've made my personal preference quite clear, I would, to the whole house in front of everyone.
Right.
The sketchiness factor in those numbers, it comes from Ryan.
Yeah.
It's not even Liv.
The part that scares me is that
But
Ryan
she is
made
linked in that, though.
I know, it is, it's true. But if
Like,
she says,
you're not. Is it who's more linked with Ryan, you or Liv?
Liv.
And it's like, Ryan, that very first night that Hams won HOH, he was in the white room and he told all of us, don't talk to Hams, let him make his decision. But he stayed in the HOH
Yeah.
room the entire day, didn't let anybody see Hams. Like, he is in Ham's
Yeah.
ear.
Yeah.
And if he
And any
convinced him
of
to
this
take him out,
versus
he
thing
convinced him to
started
take
from
any of us
him.
out.
Any of this.
Oh yeah.
You know, any of this man on an island, but blah blah happened to him. The reason why Allie, Derek, and Kayla are after each other is started from him. It didn't start from them not being friends. And overall, it actually might be best for the four of us sitting in this room should you stay, because now they're at each other. But who started that conflict?
So
Not Derek and Kayla, not Allie. Ryan.
Yeah.
So has Ryan come and talk to you guys about getting me
No.
out?
He don't talk.
No.
We don't talk one bit of game.
Oh,
We're
okay,
not.
I
We're
see.
not like
Oh, I
even
see.
worthy of the conversation.
Make one
Oh.
more point.
Yeah.
Not one bit.
You approached Ryan, you said last night, asked him if there were a thing, and
Yeah.
he said no.
Yeah.
But when I asked Liv today, she said Ryan has my back because she was counting the votes. That's sketchy to me.
I feel like I haven't talked game in a couple of couple of days.
Yeah.
Same.
And I'm gonna go in down
Oh yeah,
and talk game.
Yeah, we need to
'Cause-
disperse.
for sure. Yeah, I
And
just
I'm
wanted to
glad
say the thing tonight.
I'm
Sleep
so
on it,
glad.
guys.
Out.
Yeah.
But fucking those.
Come here.
Oh my god.
And I don't forget that first day that I was sketching the fuck out.
No, I'm good tonight. I'm
Yeah.
done talking. You guys sleep. We'll talk tomorrow. Think about it. Let me know.
Yeah.
But
whatever,
still
right?
talk to the other like.